Now, one of the biggest problems in our life is love. And it is also one of the things that make you the most miserable. Love. It is also one of the things that makes you decide everything else. For example, you don't want to buy a house until you get married nowadays. Or people say, well, I hope I meet a rich guy. That's a common thing. Well, a rich guy because you'll buy the car and the house and everything. Or you say, well, I married this person, but there's no love. One of the biggest problems of our life. It decides everything. In fact, love is such a big business in this world now, in this country. And everything is just because of love. So you love somebody, you love chocolate. Okay, but I wish that the chocolate can be as sweet as the person's mind. Okay. But the whole idea is that most of our problems of love stems from our own childhood, and it's what the parents have done that determine your love life. That is where your karma of love comes from. If you want to know where the karma of love comes from, it's from your parents. Looking back at your parents is what's going to decide how your love life goes. Right? At the time that you're growing up as a child and so on, is what determines it. And we know that. The Hindus know that. They know that love is the biggest problem. So what do you think you pray to? What's our ultimate symbol? Love. If you look at the Shiva Lingam, you have there the male connected to the female, right? And the desire, which some people think we worship snakes. We don't worship snakes. We worship desire, because desire, which is what Eve gave Adam, that apple. It was just apple because of the cake. But we know what Eve gave Adam. It was love, desire. So when it's serpent energy. So that is what determines our love. So everything in our love life is embedded in our chakras. Everything that we feel about love, what we do about love, everything about love, is embedded in our chakra. When a person has a heart problem, that person has had love problems. Heart attack is an indication that there is no love in that person's life. Because if you trace it, stress, all of these things cause the heart attack. So your heart chakra, there's a heart chakra, is what has all the ingredients that your parents give you in your love life. Now, like in the paper I just gave you, if the person who is conceiving the child, or the people who conceive the child, had a one-night stand, what kind of child would that be? They just met, they had a few drinks, went home, got pregnant. What would happen to that child? That child was not conceived out of love. It was conceived out of sexual feelings. So how will that child be out in terms of love? So you always know the love children. The love children are successful. They have good husbands, good wives, because they're brought up with that love. The minute the mother or the father says, no, I don't want to do anything about it with you, or I don't love you, or just do what you have to do and go, the child becomes different. In Hinduism, we call it Garbhadan Sanskar, which is, Garbhadan Sanskar means it's a ritual that the parents do before they make the baby. And so they determine what kind of baby they want to bring up. So they both do prayers, they do all kind of good words, good things to make the baby being born with auspicious characteristic and auspicious personality, good personality and so on. So that's why we worship love. The Shivlingam, which is, I don't know if all of you have seen it, but can you see the back here? It's the shape of the uterus connected to the male phallus, which is what we worship. Because when we throw water in this, we're washing away all the problem in our love life. But also the snake on it represents the Kundalini or the chakra. And so the Muladhara chakra, which is at the bottom, right, is the one that controls your whole love life, sexual life, and everything. And these 7 chakras are equal to the 7 houses in astrology. Yeah, if you come from the 7th house to the 1st house, or the 7th sign to the 1st sign, it will be totally opposite to each other. The bottom one will represent your Muladhara, and the top one will represent your Sahasrara chakra, which is your head. So, if the Muladhara chakra is interfered with in any way, which is the first chakra, it messes up your whole love life. So that's why when we do meditation, we concentrate first on the Muladhara chakra. That's why we sit on the floor, we get grounded and so on. Because the Muladhara chakra, when it's interfered with in any way, which is, think about the Muladhara chakra now. If you drink alcohol and then you decide to make a baby, will that affect the Muladhara chakra? Yes. Okay, if you are having, for example, violence in that sexual encounter, that's the Muladhara chakra will absorb that. See? So usually in astrology, when you look at the 7th house of the horoscope, that tells you sometimes what the condition of the Muladhara chakra is. Right? So the 7th house in your horoscope tells you how your love life will be and so on. Now let's just use an example. Let's say Venus, which is the goddess of love, all of you know that, the planet, is with Mars, which is the god of war. And let's say these two are together in the 7th house, what will happen? Constant battle with love life. She will never be settled on. He or she will never have a marriage, a proper marriage, unless they are neutralized. So that's why we worship the Shivling. The Shivling at the base of the snake, the spine, is called the Muladhara chakra. Now here's an interesting part of this whole thing, is that I had this girl come to see me, and when she came, she had a strange formation on her back, on her spine. She had this hair bunched up in the middle of her back. And when that happens, that means that the Muladhara chakra is dangerous. That means that the person who is going to sleep with her die, or will die. She came after 3 people died in her life. She met the first boy. After he slept with her, he had an accident a week later. Died. Second one, she slept with him. About a month later, he killed himself. He hanged himself. Right? Why is that? She never got married until she met another guy with the same planet. Then they couldn't kill each other, of course. Okay. So because they were equal now. See? So what happened now? What causes that? When the child is born with anger, when the child is born in anger, so here's what happened now. When the mother was pregnant with her, she was angry at the father throughout the pregnancy. And because she was angry at the father throughout the pregnancy, she said in her mind, I wish him dead. I wish he was dead. Because he probably ill-treated her too through the pregnancy. Most likely that she was bad, he was probably bad. So she wished him dead. Right? And so she wished he was dead, because even if he did rape her during the pregnancy and everything, that she would do that. Guess what happened? After the child was born, 3 months later he died. Right? Because that's her wish through the pregnancy. So remember, when a child is born, the whole universe is rearranged. How you want it. You have that power. That's why the women have 9 different forms. You know, women don't have one form. Because if they have one form, they'll just be a cook. They won't clean the house. Right? Or they'll just be a lover and don't cook at all. Okay. So the women have different forms. Because woman can be a mother, can be a sister, can be a maid, can be a lover, can be a babysitter. She has a lot of power. So she also has the power to destroy the man. So if the woman don't watch her power, she can destroy the man and destroy the men in her life. So when a woman meets 5 different men, 6 different men in her life, the first one, she didn't want it for some reason. Second one, she didn't want it for some reason. Right? Then she meets one which she wants, but he lives. Right? These are all different energies coming into your life. Think of yourself as an energy. One is negative, one is positive. When she met the first one, he probably was an angel. We meet angels in our life. When she met the second one, he probably was another angel. And when she met the third one, he probably was the demon. So we meet angels and demons all the time. They come into our life because of this karma. That when the good one comes, we refuse it. So you get the bad one. As karma is presented to you. So because you have 9 different forms, you meet 9 different men, and then that's it. You don't meet any more. But the whole idea is that the shivling now, which is the symbol that we worship or love, actually cures those problems. And one of the things that we do when the baby is born, and we know that the mother did not like him in the pregnancy, we don't allow him to see the baby until a certain couple of months after, or we do a ceremony before they look at the baby. And that saves the guy from danger. Right? So the same thing happens when 2 people get married. You know, then the guy dies. You're supposed to check. Because why? You cannot mix lemon and milk. It will spoil.